guys, TommyBoy601, and it is that time of year again. It is E3, so you know what that means. We're gonna get a lot of this. We've been listening to gamers, and we've heard, and we've listened with the fist. Like, how many times an executive does this thing, where they make a fist and they put their thumb on top or below like that? I feel like that's gonna be a very popular thing this year, but it is that time. It's time for an E3 predictions video. But before we get started, I want to know what you think is going to go on at this year's E3. So go ahead, let me know down in those comments below. Give me your E3 predictions. First thing we're going to do, we're going to run through the big three. That's going to be Sony, that's going to be Microsoft, and that's going to be Nintendo. Then we're going to go up and do a couple quick predictions for the third parties. So let's dive on in and start with Sony. Now with these, I'm going to go from like most known to most absurd, kind of like what we know is going to happen, and then what I hope, wish, dream, and pray is going to happen, and hopefully somewhere in there I get some predictions right. Go ahead and keep my score down below as well. So first things first, let's go ahead and talk about Sony. Yes, Sony. So first things first, I think we know God of War is going to be there. There's that massive mural on the side of a building that's gone up with the God of War. I think that means we're pretty sure it's going to be coming out this year. We're going to be seeing that. I think also Gran Turismo, it needs to show its face. It needs to show that it's still alive. It needs to show its VR. And speaking of VR, we need to see something from Sony. I mean, I bought this thing from them for a reason, and I'd like to be able to use it a little more. Star Trek Bridge Crew has been pretty good. We know that Gran Turismo has a promised mode for it, and we also know that Ace Combat has a promised mode, and if Gran Turismo and Ace Combat come out and they're great and amazing, I'll be happy, but I want to see what else is coming out for this thing. I spent a lot of money on it, and I want to see what games are going to be on it, and so do the million other people who have purchased this thing, Sony. We want to see and we want to hear what our money has gotten us, and we want to play with your fun VR hat a little bit more. Next thing, I think we know Destiny and COD will be making an appearance on Sony's stage. I think COD will be showing their multiplayer. Since Activision doesn't have a conference, they have to show up on someone's stage. And Destiny, given that they have that partnership with Sony, I think it's a pretty safe assumption that we're going to see them up there on that stage as well. Now, one thing I think that Sony's going to do to kind of counter Microsoft is I think they're going to do a price drop on their consoles, both of them, in fact. I think the PS4 gets a price drop to match the Xbox One S, dropping it down to $250, and then I think the PS Pro, which is currently sitting at $400, gets a way to kind of counter Scorpio, sitting in at $350 as opposed to its current $400 price tag. Now, I think the most outlandish, the most crazy thing, the get hype moment, if you will, for Sony is if they bring out Kingdom Hearts 3. It's time. We know they're working on it. Have Square come out, bring it home. Sony is where everyone's played Kingdom Hearts for so many years. It's time to bring Kingdom Hearts 3 to the stage and let it come out. Yes, Sony, please. Next up is going to be Nintendo. Now, Nintendo, we already know a couple of things about that press conference. In fact, we know that it's going to be a mere 30 minutes, and this is going to factor in some predictions later on down the line with the third parties. I think 30 minutes means we are not going to see a lot of third-party games in the Nintendo Direct. In fact, we know it's only going to feature games coming out in 2017, and that means I think it's going to focus a lot on games that we know about. I think 10 minutes of that thing is going to get committed to Splatoon 2. I think 10 minutes to Mario Odyssey. That gives us 10 minutes to play around. I think the Nindies come back. Nintendo had that great Nindies kind of Direct, and it knocked the socks off of so many people. I love playing the Nindies right now on my Switch. This thing is great. Like, I love the little Nindies that I didn't play elsewhere coming to this, and I think this is a great Nintendo. I think this is a great independent gaming console, and it's great, and it's wonderful, and they need to show us, and they need to bring more. Now, beyond that, the big announcements that we need, and I'm hoping for, that we don't know about already, we need virtual console details. We need to know, yes, you're going to be able to buy and play our old games. I want you to announce GameCube virtual console. That would be amazing. Give me Mario Sunshine. Give me those great games from the GameCube era. Give me Rogue Squadron. That would be so amazing to play those games once again. Now, I think my get hype moment for Nintendo would have to be some sort of Smash Bros. Announcement. If we had the Pokken Direct, we had the Pokemon Direct that announced Pokken, and I think what they did that, and I'm hoping the strategy behind the Pokken Direct was the fact that saying, hey, look, we have a fighting game coming out. We don't want your shitty fighting game clouding up our great fighting game. You need to go ahead and announce that now, because the fighting game spotlight needs to be on us this E3. And if they announce Smash Bros., it's done. It's over. The Switch is going to be sold out for years to come. It's amazing, and that is what I'm hoping. Please, Nintendo, give me Smash on the Switch. Now, Microsoft. It is ride or die for you guys. You guys need to put up or shut up this E3. It is something where you need to come out of the gates swinging. And I don't know what that means, but I think someone does. That's going to be Reddit user Brock McLaughlin. Now, I found this prediction while I was going through and kind of visiting the Xbox One subreddit, and I think it's amazing, and it just needs to happen. So here it is. The Rock is going to come out at the start of the show while smoke sweeps across the stage. A giant oversized oven will be wheeled out to the center stage. The Rock will ask, "Can you smell Microsoft and The Rock have been cooking?" He will open the giant oven to reveal Xbox Scorpio. Crowd erupts and cheers, but that's not it, because Phil Spencer will take the stage to announce the price tag of Scorpio, and The Rock will proclaim that $499 is too damn high, and wrestle him until he lowers it to $400. That is a prediction. I don't think it's going to go down like that, but if it does, that would be amazing. The full circle thing of course, The Rock being there to announce the first Xbox and being there to announce Scorpio kind of as a new beginning, that would be cool. That'd be amazing. The Rock is hot and great right now. Like, he's a great person and celebrity who is amazing right now, and if you could nab him, that would be fantastic. I don't think it's going to happen, but this man has a vision, and that we have to applaud him for. We have to applaud that man. But going on to my predictions, first off, Scorpio. I think it keeps the name Scorpio. They've put a lot of branding into that. They've announced it was Scorpio. They've recently, there's a trademark symbol that gave off kind of a Scorpio, and you know what? I think they stick with it. It's a great name. People know what it is. It has that brand recognition already. I think the release price of it is $450. I think $500 is too high. It's just too high. I don't think $400. I don't think they can match Sony. If they do, that'd be incredible. But I think $450 is going to be the sweet spot for them, and I think it comes out in October. We had Shadows of War, you know, the follow-up to Shadows of Mordor, that just got pushed back to the mid-October, and we all know that's going to be a Scorpio game, so I think that is what shows up. Now, as far as games on the Scorpio, that is what really matters, that's what really counts, and I think we at least see 4 big games. I think Forza is the first one we see. Forza has always led off their console generations. It's always a way to look at beautiful games on their console, and I think this is going to be no exception. We are going to see Forza. Next, Crackdown. Crackdown 3. Where have you been? You've been saving yourself for Scorpio, and that's what you are. You are a launch title for Scorpio. You look beautiful. That's what we want. That's what we want to see. I think State of Decay 2. Yeah, State of Decay 2. It's time for that to come out, and I think we need to see it. It's definitely one of those things where it got really popular when it shouldn't have, and now I think it gets that big AAA push that the last one didn't. And the final game I think we definitely see on the Microsoft stage is, of course, Sea of Thieves. This is the year for Sea of Thieves. We want Rare to be great again, and I think that's how they're going to do it. They're going to show off Sea of Thieves, and that's going to be another fantastic title, and I think it could be potentially their best game this year. Here's hoping. Here's hoping. Sea of Thieves looks pretty great. Next, after that, I think they go into another indie game segment. That's an ID at Xbox segment. I think the big announcement, something that would get a lot of people hype, would be PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. I think the Scorpio will probably have the power to push through the current bad optimization that game has, and I'm hoping that's what they lead off with. That'd be great. And I think they end the segment with Cuphead, where they release it that day. I think Sunday, they're like, we've taken a long time with Cuphead, but you know what? It's right now. And to celebrate this, it is now live on Xbox Live for everyone. Or, if they're crazy, if they're ballsy, they put it on Game Pass. That new service, that $10 a month game service, you want our newest release, you want Cuphead, $10 right now, gets you Game Pass, which Cuphead is on, maybe doing it exclusively there. If not, definitely offering a discount if you have Game Pass. I think that would be the smart way to get that out and to push that great service they started up. Game Pass, great value for those who aren't buying every single game as it comes out. It's a value pass for people, and I think that is something Xbox is going to be pushing as we move into the future. Now, the last thing, the get hype moment of the Microsoft conference, I think we see Oculus come out. We see them and they say, you know what, we've been working with Microsoft forever. They've been excellent partners, and we're happy to announce that the Xbox One Scorpio will support the Oculus Rift and the Oculus Rift game store. And I think the crowd erupts, it cheers. VR is something big. It's something people are investing in, and it's time to shine. Sony has already sold 1 million units. We haven't seen that from the Vive or the Oculus. And I think it's time to see it now. I think it's time to get Microsoft to respond. Of course, HoloLens being in just a development state right now, not being a consumer release, I think they are going to invest right now in VR and wait until the tech catches up until they give us some AR. Now, this last segment is going to be covering those third parties. That's going to be EA. That's going to be Ubisoft. That's going to be Bethesda. These are the big guys. These are the ones who have their own thing. And like I said earlier, the Switch, I think, comes around here because I think this is where we see Switch games, is in these three. I think we Nintendo, being the protectionists that they are going to be like, we don't really want your game muddling up our message for our Direct. It's our Direct. You have your own conference. You can do it there. And I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a plethora of Switch games at some of these third parties. For EA, we know already Battlefront 2. We know it's going to be a multiplayer match on Theed across the eras, meaning I believe they're going to be playing with the clones, and the heroes are going to be Darth Maul and Rey, which I don't know if I agree with, but whatever. That's their choice. That's what they're doing. We'll go ahead and see it. Of course, EA, we're going to see some sports person. I think this is where they either announce they go into depth with FIFA for Switch. They're going to bring out FIFA, regular FIFA, like, oh, look, it's a new FIFA. It's so great, blah, blah, blah. And coming to the FIFA family this year is FIFA Switch, or whatever they want to call it. Of course, not going to have the exact parallels of that new system, but it's go anywhere with it. It's on that little device, and I think maybe, just potentially maybe, they go ahead and they make a special version of Battlefront. You know how the PSP had its own special version of Battlefront 2? The thing was Rogue, it wasn't Rogue Squadron, it was like Rogue, it was Rogue something. Basically, it was a dumbed down version of Battlefront 2 that released on there that had some extra customization and stuff. It was pretty cool. It was the only thing I ever played on my PSP. I'll be honest. I got the special Darth Vader edition PSP, and I only played that game on it. Okay? I loved Battlefront 2. Sue me. Anyways, that being said, I think if EA is up for money grabbing and they're smart and they've capitalized, maybe they come out with a dumbed down version of Battlefront 2, which I will buy. I will shamelessly buy. It will be worse, and I will buy it happily. The next thing I think EA does is they close out with the Amy Hennig Star Wars game. I think that would be really hype level for them, and that would be great. Moving on to Ubisoft, the French. First off, they're going to make a big deal about their new logo, and it's going to be annoying because every year that conference is cringeworthy. And why change? Of course, we're going to see we're going to see the new Assassin's Creed from them. They took a year off. They're going to be very proud of it, so we're going to see it. Hopefully, they then also support VR again. Eagle Flight was an amazing game for the PSVR, and hopefully they still want to support it. But they definitely, I think this is where that Rayman Cross or that Mario Cross Rabbids RPG gets shown, and it's going to be great. It shouldn't be great, but it's going to be better than it has any right to be. Really, it's. I feel like it's going to be one of those games where like, damn it, I'm spending the money on you, aren't I? Yep. And I think their final thing, the thing that they close out with, is I think they bring back Splinter Cell. They've been doing this. They've been bringing back franchises in their portfolio, and they've been revamping and redoing them. 2 years ago, we got Siege. That's still going strong. It's an amazing game. Year after that, we got Ghost Recon Wildlands. Not as great as Siege, but it's definitely a pretty great game, and I quite enjoyed it for the limited amount of time that I played it, and I think it's time for Splinter Cell to come back. I think Sam Fisher needs to lace up those CIA boots again, and he needs to get in there, and we need to play some of that. Finally, Bethesda. Whew! Bethesda. First off, I think, of course, we're going to see the Switch version of Skyrim. Hopefully, it's some sort of special edition. Maybe it's special in some way. I don't know, though. Probably not. It's probably just the base game. Who knows? But I think Evil Within 2 we get to see, and that gets announced. And I think Wolfenstein also gets announced. The third iteration of the current franchise, the current doing of Wolfenstein. I think those two are their big headliner games, kind of like how Dishonored and Prey were last year. Those are their two big ones this year. So those are all of my predictions. This has been a pretty good length of a video. I hope you like it. What did you guys think? Do you think my predictions are right? Do you think they're wrong? Let me know down in those comments. Guys, my name is TommyBoy601. I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.